Hey everyone, it's Katie and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I'm going to be doing the draw my life video, but I am not going to be drawing at all. I suck at drawing. I am not an artist at all, so I won't be drawing. I'm actually going to be doing it the Marissa Lace way and the Keren Swan way. They both did videos that were amazing where they were just talking and opening up, and I really like those ones just because they were more personal. It wasn't me drawing a crappy drawing because I can't draw. So I liked their videos a lot and I just thought they were more personal. They were just great, and I'm gonna link both of their channels and videos down below because they were amazing, and I think you should definitely go watch them after you watch mine. And I don't know, I just want to do it this way, and I've wanted to do this video for a while, but I didn't want to like draw, so I'm gonna do this the Katie way, but also the way that Marissa and Keren did this video and stuff. So I'm just gonna do it this way, and I wrote notes this time because I've tried to film this video 2 other times. Let's just hope third time is the charm, because I'm not gonna be filming this video the 4th time. Let's just get right into my life story and my draw my life. So my name is Catherine Elizabeth, and I was born on September 22nd, 1995 at 7:29 in the morning. Yes, I remember exactly what time I was born because my parents mentioned it to me like 1,000 times. And when I was born, I had a full head of hair. I remember my parents telling me that like I was never bald, which thinking about that is kind of crazy. Like I was never bald. So I always had a head of hair, and I guess they put like many hair bows in my hair just because I was like had that full head of hair, so why not and stuff. So I love that. And I was the first child born to my parents, Kristen and Paul. Love my parents. And when I was born, we had a dog named Barkley. He's a boxer like most of my dogs have been. He was great. I was actually born by C-section because I was so big. My mom likes to tell me how I was so big. I had a big head or something. I was just a really big baby. I was around 9 pounds, 9 pounds. I was a big baby, so I had to be born by C-section. So I was born and everything in the morning and everything. When I was born, I had jaundice, and jaundice is completely normal. A lot of babies have jaundice and stuff, so I had to go under like those light things to kind of not make my skin yellow, you know? And the reason why I had jaundice is because I have a VSD, and VSD stands for ventricular septal defect, which is a heart condition. A lot of babies have this as well and stuff. Usually it goes away, but mine never went away, and I still have it to this day. It's completely normal. You can live a healthy, normal life. It literally doesn't affect you. It just means you have a hole in your heart. If you want to look up more information about it, Google it. It's really not usually a big deal. Some babies get surgery for it if it's more severe. Mine wasn't severe, so I'm very thankful for that. So I think 3 to 5 days later, I was able to go home with my parents, and that's where my life started, you know? So I went home, and we lived in this small, I think it was a 3-bedroom house. It was like, I remember my house very vaguely. Like, you'd walk in and you'd go upstairs to go to like the living room and the kitchen and the dining room, and then you'd go up more stairs to go to the bedrooms. And I remember my house very vaguely. It was a very small house. It wasn't like tiny, but it wasn't like huge. And the basement was actually very small. It was just like a room, and then like I think we had a guest bedroom down there. I'm not really sure. I don't remember much about my house because I moved out of that house when I was 6. But I just remember that house. That's where I started my first like 6 years of my life. And when I was in the hospital, my grandfather, who I call Pepper, he brought me a Minnie Mouse toy, and I still have it to this day. I love it. It's just like one of my favorite memories is when I see that, and I'm just like, that's great. When I started talking, when I was born, my Pepper, who was my grandfather, he would be grandpa. But then when I started talking more and more, I started calling him Pepper, and my parents were like, Pepper? Do you mean Pepper? And I was like, no, Pepper and stuff. So they thought I was talking about some TV show I was watching, Pepper on a TV show, but I was saying Pepper. So I kind of created that name. So he's always been Pepper, and I created that, so yay me. And then 3 years later, my brother was born, and his name is Joseph Lewis, and we call him Joey, but now he's Joe because he wants to be Joe. He was born, and when he was born, it was actually a funny day because my grandmother had to come watch me, and I always wanted my hair in a ponytail, so she would put my hair up, but I have all this hair hanging out, so she decided decided to just cut it, and my mom was so pissed off because she just cut my hair. But it was funny, like the pictures, I'm like, oh my god, my hair looked awful, like thank you, Granny. So when I was in preschool, I started having learning like delays. Like I remember I couldn't write my name very well, which who in preschool writes their name very well, but there are certain things that I couldn't do. I don't remember all of them because I was in preschool, and I remember being 3 or 4 years old and having to wear glasses, which I didn't mind. I was like, wearing glasses, cool. But I just remember having learning delays, but it didn't like really affect me until I was really in elementary school. Then I got to kindergarten, and I started getting like more learning help, like because in elementary school and all throughout my school career, I had a learning disability, and I just had a learning disability. It's not like pinpoint to what I had. I had trouble with reading and writing for a really long time, probably all through elementary and a little bit through middle school, and then after middle school I really just had trouble with math and some reading and writing, but really it was just math and stuff because I learned and everything, and I got like better at everything. And yeah, so like in elementary school, I loved school. I loved going to school. I just loved it, and I met a lot of good friends in elementary school, and some of them I talk to this day, and some of them I don't even know where they are, to be honest. And you know, my disability, I knew I had a disability, but it affected me. I would have services for speech, occupational therapies, and I think that was it. And then I just have like, you know, the reading and math and writing kind of like help. And I had a lot of great teachers, which is why I think that like I was able to learn and get better at everything. And I always worked hard, even at elementary school. I would work so hard, and I didn't really care. Like I didn't really think of anything with my disability, but that's just because I was in elementary school and I was being a kid and everything, so I didn't really think of anything of it. But I just always worked very hard and everything. So in first grade, I met my best friend, who is still my best friend to this day, and that is Allie. Allie was in my best friend challenge kind of video, so if you want to see that, I'll link it down below. But Allie was in that video, and she's still my best friend and everything. We've grown closer all through school. Became the closest in college, but I'll get to that later. But yeah, I met Allie, and she's like the only friend that I'm still like really good friends with from all of school. Even friends from like high school I'm not really close to, but Allie is like my closest friend. I love Allie. So in middle school I met even more friends and everything. I met a couple different people and everything, and some of them I went through school with them to high school, and some of them I don't even know what happened to them, like they just magically disappeared. It was weird. But you know, middle school I still loved school, and it was just hard because the friends that I was around, I wasn't, some of them moved, they had to go to different schools, so it was a little different for me. So I don't know, it was weird. So I met a lot of new people, and I really liked 5th grade because I had a lot of friends in 5th grade, but also like the other years weren't that bad. But middle school is just that weird time. It's a weird transition. Everybody's going through change, and it's just changing. But actually when I was younger, I had these 4 best friends, which are Kara, Kristen, and Bailey. Well, 3 best friends, and I'm still kind of friends with them to this day. They lived in my neighborhood, and they were my friends outside of school. We would hang out like in our neighborhood with all our other friends, and they're very nice, and they're just always my good friends, and I still talk to them to this day, of course. I don't really see them around that much, but they're still kind of my friends and everything. So it was fun, and we had a lot of fun times like at our bus stop and everything. Like in middle school we had this crazy bus driver, like I'm pretty sure she had like some issues because she was crazy and stuff. Like things she did I'm pretty sure aren't legal. But also in middle school I felt more insecure about my disability, especially in 6th grade. I don't know, like I just didn't want people to know I had one. Like that's when I started growing up and I realized like what it is, and I don't know, like it just embarrassed me like having to like take tests in a different room, and it really just was like, oh, what do people think about me? And I really cared about what people thought about me, and it really just bothered me and everything, and it just made me feel weird. And like everybody I knew, especially in high school, was in honors classes, and like that bothered me because people are like, oh, so what classes are you taking? And it's just like, oh, I'm taking regular math, regular this, regular that, when they're taking, oh, I'm taking honors this, honors that. And I'm like, okay. Before high school I went to a junior high for 8th and 9th grade, even though 9th grade is considered high school. It's still a junior high, but it is high school. Junior high was at a scary place place. Like, the junior high was a scary place. There's a lot of different kids. So there's kids from one area and my area, and they were all mixed together, and some of the kids from the other area were scary. Like, what? But I met some good friends in the other area, and I don't really talk to them much to this day, but they're still good friends of mine. They're still pretty good friends of mine, so I don't know. But junior high was definitely experience in itself. And in high school, I believe 9th through 11th grade, I got mostly merit roll, so I got merits, and then in 12th grade, my class was a lot easier, so I was able to get honor roll a lot of the time. Had a hard time in high school. I liked 9th grade and the years before that, but in high school, I hated high school. Like, going into a 10th grade, I liked it and everything, but after that, I started hating it a little bit less. But my mom and my dad were always there for me and everything, and I just love my parents. They've done everything for me, and my parents are just great. So high school was a new start, really, because I was going to a different school and everything, but it was still going to be the same kids because it was still in my district. And Ellie and I were still very close in high school and everything, but there were some people that I felt like in high school are trying to drag us apart, but we still were strong and everything and stuff. And I don't talk to these people nowadays. I don't really care about them, but you know, Ellie and I are still very good friends, and they did not drag us apart, but it was just hard for me because there were people where they were really showing their shady side, and it really just, like, they would say things to me and I'm like, go. Literally go. So the girls in high school, a lot of them were very petty girls, and it was just like everybody was trying to find like friends and everything, but a lot of them were petty. So I ended up being friends with friends I've always had, and also friends with people in younger grades, because the girls in my grade were pretty petty and stuff. And there was just like girls would say things behind my back, and it really affected me because I already felt like insecure about myself a lot of times, but people were like, oh, who's this girl? But like nobody, a lot of people in high school, they already had friends, so they weren't looking for new friends, and it just was hard for me just because, you know, when you like see somebody and they seem nice and then you're like, oh, I could be friends with them. There are a couple people that I was like pretty like decent friends with them for a while in my classes, and then it would be like next thing they're like avoiding you, and they're like, and you're just like, what happened? It was weird and stuff, but you know, you get through that and everything. And high school is just like an experience in itself. It's hard, and you have to take hard classes, you have to deal with hard things, but you get through it, and 4 years feels like 8. And at times in high school I did feel alone, just because sometimes it was like, oh, I'm friends with this person, but I guess now I'm not, and just people turn on you, and it's just hard and everything. So if you're in high school now, just stay strong, stick with the friends that are good to you, try to make new friends, like join activities. That's like one thing I didn't really do, and I should have, because I could have met a lot more people if I did that, but definitely like do that. And in high school I worked very hard, my classes were very hard, and I worked hard to even get merits, and that, like, I hated that I didn't get honor roll a lot of the time, but you know, merit roll is just as good. Like 80s are a good grade. And I graduated in 2014, and I graduated, I believe, maybe with honors, I'm not really sure. I graduated, and graduation was the happiest day of my life because I was finally leaving that high school, moving on, and starting fresh, and it was just great. A lot of people are crying graduation, like, oh my god, I miss you. I'm like, I'm not gonna miss a school at all. Like 4 years of high school, it was bad. So August came and I was ready to start college. Now, I've always known that I was gonna go to a 4-year school right off the bat. So I applied, I think maybe in November of 2013, I applied to a community college around my town. It's actually 30 minutes away, so I applied there and I got accepted in December, and I was just like, no big deal, it's community college, like it wasn't a big deal to me. And I ended up going there in August, which I was only school that I applied to. It was either I go there or I don't go to school at all. So I went there, and I ended up living there just because it was 30 minutes away from my home, and it was also going to be a very good experience for me, so I ended up living there. And my roommates were very nice my first semester. I wasn't close with all of them, but they were really nice and everything. And some of my roommates were crazy, but you know, it was a good crazy. It wasn't like anything bad, and I just had a good time. The first semester was hardest for me because being away from home the first time, so this was hard to adjust and everything, but I made it through the first semester. And then the second semester was honestly probably my best semester at school so far. I loved my roommates and stuff. Some of them room I didn't like a lot, but my 2 roommates I shared a bedroom with, they were very nice, and you know, I had a lot of fun times with them, especially in the beginning of the semester. It was a lot of fun and everything. And then I was doing really good in classes and stuff. I think my first semester I got a 3.7. My second semester I think I might have got a 3.5, which is pretty good and everything. And then the last year, so that was my first year of college, I did very well. And then my second year of college I did decently okay. It was a very hard time for me. In the beginning of the semester it was all good, and if you see my roommate video you will know what I'm talking about. So I had a hard time with my roommate. I was in a double and it was just a very hard time. She treated me like crap. She was just an awful person. She was an inconsiderate person. I don't want to get into that. If you want to hear about that story, you can see the video. It'll be linked up above. But you can see that video if you want to know more about it. And it was just a bad experience for me. I had a lot of anxiety from that situation. There were times where I just had to go to bed early just to avoid her. And there were a lot of times where I just was so anxious that I would have panic attacks. I'd be panicking about it. And a lot of times my best friend would have to stay with me just so I wouldn't like have a panic attack. Like, I was really freaked out over this whole situation. It was very hard 4 months. That 4 months from January to May was very hard for me. It was a very hard time. I just couldn't, and a lot of times I would cry over it and I just couldn't and everything. And it was just hard for me, and really my grades weren't like the best because I was going through such a hard time. It was hard for me to concentrate. It was hard for me to do a lot of things and stuff, and that was just so hard. I didn't have the best relationships with my other roommates because of this girl, and it was just hard for me. But I ended up making the best of the situation and everything. So now moving forward, I finished 2 years of school, and now I just have at least 1 more semester in my school. Then I don't know where I'm going. I'm either going to another 2 years of school or maybe more. I'm not really sure what the future holds for me or what I'm going to do, but I just want to do something I'm passionate about, and YouTube is something that is definitely part of my life. It's going to be always be like that other thing I do and stuff, and I'm just very happy with it. I started YouTube a year ago. It's always been a very important part of my life. I've always uploaded at least 1 video a week, and I just love the connection I have with YouTube. I can share like my thoughts and just talk and just have a platform where I can share like what I'm feeling and just talk and just have that. And I just love it, and I'm never gonna quit YouTube. As long as YouTube is running is as long as I'm going to be on YouTube, and I just love it, and I don't plan on quitting even if I do have another job, because YouTube is my favorite hobby and it's just always important to me, and I just love it. As of right now, I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do with the rest of my life, what kind of career I want to pursue, and just figuring out my life. I'm still figuring out who I am every day. I'm not that shy girl that a lot of people who knew me when I was younger am. I've grown up so much. I've gained so much independence, and I've really found my voice, I feel, from YouTube, but also just from every experience I faced. And I just feel so much stronger, and I just feel like I'm a different person in a way. I don't even know how to explain that, but I'm just trying to find more of me out there. And I'm just living every day with a bunch of opportunities in mind, and I'm just excited to see what is to come next. So that video was definitely all over the place, but I think I like how it came out, and I'm just excited to edit this for you guys. And I really hope you liked hearing my life story kind of thing, and I draw my life through pictures kind of way. And I just hope you really liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to tell me a little about yourself or your life, just comment that down below. Also comment any other videos you want to see next, and also subscribe because I post videos every week, and I'd love for you to be subscribed to my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!